Sunday morning, and I've just taken the pate fermenté out of the refrigerator, and you can see it's risen again since last night, since I degassed it. So I'm going to put it in the oven, which is about room temperature, and let it sit for an hour. I've got the stand mixer running. After about an hour of warming up, I took the pate fermenté and mixed it up with the bread flour, regular flour, yeast, salt, and some warm water, about 100 degrees. And let me check it. It should be about done now. And we want the temperature to be about 80 degrees. And that's exactly where it is. We're going to let it rise for about 2 hours. And that's how it's looking now. While I was offline, I did a couple things. I tore up the romaine lettuce, washed it, and now I'm going to grate tomatoes. And for that, I'm going to use the food mill. To the compost that goes, and you can see there I've got the skins left, so this food mill is really nice for getting rid of those. The bread has been proofing for almost 2 hours now, and you can see how much it's risen. So what we're going to do now is divide it into 3 parts and make batards. A little bit of oil on that. We're going to cover it for about 5 minutes. Right now we're going to turn to the croutons. All right, I've torn my country bread into pieces about 1 inch in size, and I'm going to add 6 tablespoons of olive oil and salt and pepper. And then I'm going to put it on a baking sheet. I've preheated the oven to 375 degrees, and we'll be going 12 minutes in there. Google, give me a 12-minute timer.
12 minutes.
And I'll flip those over and move them around a little bit. Now we're going to take these batards and shape them into baguettes. Take these baguettes and put them back in the oven at proofing temperature for about an hour. The croutons are still browning, so while those are finishing, I'll show you the peppers we have. I couldn't find any of the padron peppers in the store, so I bought some shishito peppers. We'll fry these up in canola oil, and then we'll sprinkle some salt, coarse salt, and olive oil on top, and it gives an excellent flavor. All right, let's see how these croutons are doing. Those are looking good. We'll leave them in another 2 minutes. And after those come out, I'm gonna start on the squid. It's a whole squid. The croutons look like they're done. Yeah. And now I'm going to turn to the squid. And what you want to do is kind of just hold on to the thick part and pull out the insides just like that. And there is a piece in here, and it looks like a piece of clear plastic. Now for these guys, you want to cut the tentacles off. dough has been rising for about an hour. I have this set for steam baking, 500 degrees. I'm going to lower it to 450. All right, now I'm going to dice the celery, onions, and garlic. Fiber. Completed most of the task. I just mixed up the paprika, smoked and sweet, with the fennel sweet seeds and the bay leaves. And the last task of the morning is to shave off about 6 tablespoons of Parmesan cheese. And this is going to go over the Caesar salad. We're about to pack it all up, hit the road, and resume the preparation at our host's house. All right, we are at our hosts Lori and Dave's place, and we're going to start cooking. So we're going to slice the bread first, and we're going to start with the arroz negre. And there's the bread. So we've turned the burner under the paella on medium-high. I'm going to mix the squid with about 1.5 ounces of oil, and I'm going to add a little bit of salt. We're going to fry this until most of the liquid evaporates. I'm going to take the squid out now. Now we're going to reduce this to medium. I'm going to add 5 ounces of oil. And then we're going to add the diced carrots and onions, or excuse me, diced onions and celery and garlic to it. I'm going to add the tomatoes to the mixture, as well as the fennel mixture. And we're going to cook this until it's almost dry. cuttlefish ink or squid ink to the fish stock, and that is now heating.
I'm just kidding. This will do. This will do.
Like the Game of Thrones finale, our meal was a source of grave doubts. But even if the show disappointed many, the food did not. Nothing sets the tone for a Spanish feast like sangria. Some might balk at using a decent Cabernet as a foundation for this punch-like concoction, but it was worth it. Steeping a packed jar of fresh citrus overnight with the hearty red wine, triple sec, a good brandy, and a modest measure of sugar produced an effervescent delight that had us wringing every last drop from the fruit slices. The salty heat of our fried shishito peppers was a perfect counterpunch to our magical elixir's sweet tartness. That combination of canola oil for frying, olive oil for drizzling, and a sprinkling of coarse sea salt yielded not only a great visual presentation, but also a crunchy treat teeming with flavor. For Caesar salad, bottled dressings and boxed croutons are dim shadows of their fresh homemade counterparts. The anchovies, egg yolks, and good quality extra virgin olive oil gave our dressing a delightful umami taste. One could easily make a meal out of this salad, but as a primer for the arroz negre, it was perfect. Ah, the arroz negre. Just look at it. Look at it. A dark and exotic, if slightly scary beauty. One taste of this dish dispelled all my concerns that it'd be too fishy. We absolutely savored the melange of sweet and smoky paprikas, fennel seeds, onions, tomatoes, garlic, fish stock, and, perhaps most of all, squid ink. Peter Reinhardt's bread recipes never disappoint, and his pan di compagnie was superb. No meal is complete without dessert. I'd never tried crema catalana. I only wish I'd doubled the recipe. The dinner's whiskey offering paid homage to the Game of Thrones finale with one of the finest distillations from Westeros, actually the west of the Scottish Highlands. Bourbon's 14-year-old standard bearer is amazing, with rich lushness. Bourbon may be my drink of choice, but I really enjoy this single malt. And our whiskey bearer right as didgeridoo. Thank you for joining us in another Bourbon Dinners episode. Until next time, hasta luego.